All right, good Monday morning, everyone. Thanks for stopping by for a quick check of your forecast. We've got some hectic weather around the corner starting today, and really on Tuesday is a day of high concern for some high winds, blowing dust, kind of a multitude of issues. One of the big ones, though, will be our fire threat. Again, it does look like we could see some extreme fire conditions across the area just because of how dry we are and how strong the winds are going to be. So we'll talk about that here in this Facebook Live. If you have any questions regarding the weather here in the next few days, certainly feel free to put a comment down below and we'll get those answered before we wrap things up. But currently taking a look outside at Dumas, Texas. It's a little cool up there, but clear skies and calm conditions. They're at 44 degrees. On the other side of the Canadian River, we're at 58 here in Amarillo. That's because there is a cold front up there in the northern side of the region that will retreat as we go into the afternoon with the strong southwest winds that we'll have today. Now, our relative humidity values, you can see where the dry line's at. Obviously not here. We have got all the high humidity down in Oklahoma and North Texas. We are in the teens and 20s for a lot of our humidity values in terms of their percentage here in the Texas Panhandle and eastern New Mexico. So we are already dealing with some elevated fire conditions, and we'll switch over to critical to extremely critical this afternoon. It's going to be a hot day. In fact, temperatures around 15 to 20 degrees above normal. Some of us may get close to record highs. I don't think we'll set any new records, but we could certainly flirt with them. Many of us will be in the mid 80s, and a few of us will probably hit the low 90s for the first time this year in the southeast Texas Panhandle. For Amarillo, we'll be in the mid 80s this afternoon, and we have got a fire weather warning that's going to go into effect at 10 a.m. and that is going to persist for not just today, but tonight and tomorrow. Again, this fire weather warning, otherwise known as red flag warnings, where we'll see at least critical fire conditions, is going to persist for at least 36 hours. Some cases it may actually hang around for 43 hours. It doesn't expire until 10 o'clock tomorrow night in New Mexico. Doesn't expire until midnight here in the northern panhandles, and that bottom row of counties from Palmer County all the way to Childress and Cottle County. It's in effect until 4 a.m. on Wednesday. That's how long we're going to see critical fire conditions in the area. Wind advisories today, currently just in New Mexico from 1 to 10 p.m. We could see this extended a little bit further to the east. Places on the far western panhandles may be added if winds certainly start to gust up to 55 miles an hour, and we start to see winds sustained at 35 later today. So that's something we'll keep our eye on, but currently no one in the panhandles under some kind of wind headline today. Tomorrow is a different story. High wind warnings already in place for New Mexico. Those go into effect at 6 a.m., last until 9 o'clock tomorrow night. And then for us here in the Panhandles, currently a high wind watch. Again, the potential for a high wind warning is there. We are at least going to be under a wind advisory. Many of us, I do think, are going to be under a high wind warning tomorrow, as winds could be sustained around 40 miles an hour, gusting over 60. Some cases we could see winds gust to 75 tomorrow afternoon. It's going to create a multitude of problems for us. Wildfire safety, just remember, again, if you are dragging a trailer behind the vehicle, the chains are not touching the ground. Again, when they hit the asphalt and the pavement, they create a lot of sparks. And again, our fuels are going to be highly receptive today and tomorrow especially. And then another big issue we have here locally is just cigarette butts ending up in the ditch, not in your ashtray. One, don't litter. Two, it's probably a good time frame to just practice those fire prevention tactics, just because the fire could spread at a very rapid pace over the next 2 days. And then make sure that you are adhering to the burn bans here around the area. Most of us have at least a burn ban, with a few exceptions. And any activity over the next 2 days that could start a fire, I would encourage you to just avoid it at all costs. Here's our fire threat today. We have got critical level across most of the area. Some of our humidity values could tumble to 2%. There's not going to be any water in the atmosphere today. Southwest winds around 20 to 35, gusting to 55. Blowing dust is going to be, I think, a limited threat for us today, but still going to see some where the winds are sustained around 35 miles an hour. That should be mostly in New Mexico and maybe places like Boise City where they're in an exceptional drought. On Tuesday, our winds will really start to rip across the area, 30 to 45, gusting to 75. The only thing that's probably keeping us away from saying a Southern Plains Wildfire Outbreak is looking likely are our temperatures. Humidity is going to be low enough for it. Winds are going to be strong enough fuels are going to be dry enough. So again, a Southern Plains wildfire outbreak, not out of the question. In fact, it looks possible at this point. But again, the fires need to get going for that to happen. If we can keep them from happening, then we're well on our way to having a quieter day tomorrow. Just going to be really nasty and ugly out there due to the blowing dust and the high winds. Hopefully we can keep the fire threat at a minimum. So here's your winds for tomorrow. They'll be out of the west behind a Pacific front, crashing from west to east. Winds, the further west you get, the stronger they're going to be. It's not uncommon for us to hear about toppled semis and winds gusting over 70 miles an hour. Some of those north and southbound roads you're certainly going to have to pay attention to and travel with utmost caution. Again, State Highway 385, 207, 83, I-27, east and west sides of the loop. All the roads you need to be careful on if you're traveling in a high-profile vehicle. Blowing dust is going to be a big issue for us tomorrow, especially where we have extreme and exceptional drought conditions, which is really the northern 3 rows of counties from Hartley, Dallam, and Cimarron County extending east. These areas are probably going to see copious amounts of dust being lofted into the air. We're going to see quite a bit, I think, here around the Amarillo area, especially closer to those plowed fields or those barren fields. And we'll see quite a bit of blowing dust out in New Mexico. I was out in Tucumcari in the San Juan area this weekend. A lot of those fields are pretty bare, so the fire threat's pretty low where there's no fuel, but that means that the dust is going to be more of your issue running through the day on Tuesday, and the winds could certainly be strong enough to cause some wind damage, and that's something you'll have to think about. So make sure you secure all those loose objects and items in your yard before leaving today. Here, let's walk through your computer model. Again, that cold front that we've got in the northern panhandle is going to get pushed back into Kansas this afternoon. Our dry line going to stay off towards our east today, and we'll see temperatures climbing up into the 80s and 90s this afternoon. So here comes that first of 2 fronts. The first one's the Pacific front. Really won't pack in a whole lot of cold air behind it. We will be colder than today in the 60s and 70s. Some of us may stay in the 50s, which again is really the only reason that I think we may stay away from a Southern Plains wildfire outbreak. But another front comes through tomorrow night. That one's going to pack a little bit colder air with it. In fact, we could see a pretty hard freeze Wednesday morning in some areas. It's not uncommon. Again, we talked about this. Our average last freeze or frost date is usually April for a lot of us. Dalhart, yours is between the 22nd and the 26th. Here in Amarillo, our general last freeze or frost date is usually mid-April. So we got about 10 days to go before it starts to become abnormal for us here. Let me turn myself off so you can see Pampa and Beaver's freeze and frost dates. Pampa's is the 8th through the 12th, and then Beaver, Oklahoma's is the 17th through the 21st. So the hard freeze we see on Wednesday morning, not necessarily abnormal, but it is something that if you've gotten an early start to the gardening season, you've already got sensitive plants coming up in the yard or in your garden, you're going to want to take care of them. Just make sure that you're covering them up, or bringing them inside if you can. Some of those more hardy plants will probably be okay. But 21, pretty cold start to the day in Dalhart. Winds that morning won't be crazy. They'll be around 5 to 15, but certainly going to have some wind chills down into the teens Wednesday morning. So your jacket's something you're going to want to take with you around the middle of the week. Here's your highs for this afternoon. No jacket necessary. 80s are going to feel pretty hot. We'll actually feel kind of like a May or June afternoon rather than April. 92 in Childress. I would also maybe consider if you're going down to the canyon area like Paladuro Canyon State Park, it gets about 10 to 20 degrees warmer down there in the floor of the canyon. Again, you've got all of those walls, again, just kind of radiating heat down onto those trails. So if you're going to go hiking this afternoon, take plenty of water with you, at least a gallon per person. If you've got a pet with you, like a dog, make sure they've got plenty of water as well on top of what you're bringing for yourself. If we're at 85, they're probably 95 down on the floor of the canyon. In some cases, it may actually get close to 100 degrees down there this afternoon. Lows tonight in the 50s. It's a warm start to your Tuesday. Highs tomorrow, 60s and 70s for most of us. We could see some high 50s, though, towards Clayton, Boise City, and Dalhart, though. Just really depends on the orientation of that next front, the second front that comes through Tuesday night. But again, tomorrow's main threat will be extreme fire conditions, high winds causing a multitude of problems. Winds sustained out of the west around 30 to 45 miles an hour. We have got a 10% chance for maybe some splash and dash showers and thunderstorms next Sunday. It does look very dry. I don't think we'll really see anything come to fruition from that. Dry line's going to mix too far to the east. All that severe weather staying off to our east as well. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. And again, those Small scale oscillations kind of working in tandem right now to keep us dry. There are signs, though, that we're going to transition to a wet pattern at some point in the near future. We don't think the whole spring is going to be dry. We think once we move closer to May, we may see our water faucet turn on. And there's some models suggesting May and June could be fairly wet for us here in the high plains. Again, those are long-range models, so you got to take them with a grain of salt. But with our eastern Pacific sea surface temperatures warming up as fast as they are, and us potentially transitioning to a weak El Nino, maybe even a moderate El Nino, by fall or early winter, we respond well in that transition phase. So that's what's going to happen this summer. We're going to transition out of La Nina and into El Nino. It may actually coincide very well with our monsoon season. So we're thinking we're at least on order for some normal precipitation this spring and summer, or at least the late spring through the summer. Again, the faucet may not turn on till May, but we do expect the rain to at least come at some point, and it should come in on a pretty regular basis this year, based off of some of our long-range models and some of the larger scale oscillations that are going to be in play, hopefully for the next year or two, which will be really nice, because this 3-year plus drought, it's all I've known being up here is just living in drought-like conditions, and it can be green up here. I've chased up here when I was younger, storm chasing, and you guys can get green. We can get a lot of rain here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Looks like no one's got any questions, but good morning to all of you. Matthew, I would hope not, or I would hope so, but I don't think it will be. Again, usually April is a very windy month for us. It's actually our windiest month on average, and it just started. So, but fingers crossed. We can always hope, right? So, but hopefully it won't be too bad tomorrow. Just make sure you're avoiding the activities that could start a fire. That's all I got for you guys. Make sure you're staying weather aware with us. You download our Storm Search 7 weather app. It'll give you timely notifications if you've got a new warning. Blowing dust advisories, we haven't seen those come out yet. Probably will here in the near future. Well, and those could actually get upgraded to a blowing dust warning tomorrow in some spots where visibility is restricted below a quarter mile, because that certainly looks like a very good possibility where we have those D3 and D4 drought conditions. I'll actually show you kind of those areas. So if you see red on the map or like a dark mahogany color, that's where the blowing dust really is going to become a problem tomorrow. It's where we've seen it become a big issue in the past. But even some spots in the severe drought in the darker orange is where we could see quite a bit of blowing dust as well. But it's going to be prevalent, I think, tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. If you're traveling and you drive across an area where visibility is low, please slow down. Again, that's how we've lost a couple of lives this year, just because people are hauling butt down the highway in no visibility, and someone stopped. They get to an intersection sooner than they think they're going to, and someone T-bones them or something like that. So just make sure you are driving safely today and tomorrow.